Dela writes, my MVVs, welcome. 19 elders stood up, backing the great lion up, as they made it very clear that they are ready to enter the groove with the jewel. And the other elders who are, in the opposition group, stood up and they roared, and it was a serious chaos in the palace. Plenty wahala left, right, and center. Our people say when a storm and a tree fight, it is not strength that wins, but the one that remembers its root. That was exactly the kind of confusion spreading through Ilefe as the palace struggled to balance love, tradition, and the weight of 4 years of pain that still hangs in the air like dust that refused to settle. The matter was simple on the surface, but deep inside, it was loaded with history, emotion, and old wounds. The elders who opposed the jewel, kept repeating the same thing. She insulted Yoruba land. The day she walked away from the great lion publicly, she must enter the sacred grove to apologize to the gods personally. They believed tradition should swallow every sentiment. They didn't want negotiation. They didn't want any middle ground. To them, the forest was the only route. But the great lion saw it differently. He saw the jewel not as a woman who insulted the throne, but as someone who was, pushed, wounded, and misunderstood. He believed the palace failed her and that her journey back should not be a punishment but restoration. So he stood up for her strongly. And that single decision broke the palace into two powerful camps. The moment the jewel's name was mentioned again, the elders who opposed her acted like a marsh thrown inside their, as in dry grass. Okay, they jumped up saying that tradition was older than the throne, older than love, and older than an apology from the heart. They shouted that her offense affected the entire Yoruba land, not only the great lion, and because of that, she must bow to the gods before she bows to any man. The tension reached its peak when 19 elders, respected men with white beard and long years of service to the throne, rose to stand with the great lion. They said they were ready to accompany the jewel into the forest if she agreed. Not for punishment, but for peace. They wanted to walk beside her as a sign that the palace accepted her and the Yoruba kingdom wanted their daughter back. Their unity shook everyone because these 19 men are not ordinary palace voices. They are elders whose words hold like heavy weight in Ile-Ife. Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Dela Ram. I bring you fresh and spicy gist from the sources still on the royals. How are you guys doing? I appreciate you so much. I love you. Adukbe, my people. If you're yet to subscribe, kindly go ahead and hit that subscribe button and do not forget to turn on the notification bell. And do not forget to give this video a thumbs up. I appreciate you guys so much. Now, the moment they stood, the opposition elders roared like wounded lions. They shouted that love had blinded everyone, that the great lion was allowing emotion to swallow the sacred rules. They asked loudly, is love stronger than tradition? They could not believe that 19 elders would challenge the old custom just because the great lion wanted the jewel protected. The royal court turned chaotic. Some elders were pointing fingers, some were pacing around angrily, others were shaking their head, wondering how the palace reached this level of division. The air was filled with fear because any wrong step could anger the gods or stain the throne. The great lion didn't move or tremble. He stood like a rock in the middle of all the shouting. His message was clear. The joy would not be forced into the forest just like that. If she entered, it would be with honor, dignity, and full palace support. He made it clear that as long as he lives and breathing, nobody would drag her into a forest that she does not want to go, except the jewel changes her mind by herself and she says she wants to go. That one of the agreements he had with the jewel when they got married, that under no circumstances, nothing, that he used his mouth as king to tell the jewel that as long as the sun rises, okay, as long as he lives, he will never force her into anything that was against her faith. Yes, that was what he said to the jewel. And now to go back to that, I think it's one of the most difficult things of the great lion. They said it was not a small thing. They said the jewel's father sat there quietly in, his own corner, of the story, not understanding why, the daughter's journey back home came with this level of battle. He did not ask for any problem. The daughter just wants to return back to where she belongs, to the man that loves her and all of that. But of course, tradition is tradition. These people, in fact, the wahala is not small thing. The people are insisting that the jewel must go through the right route. We didn't know that Ofarende will come with this forest, Nobody ever thought of it. Now, another thing again is that the caliber of the elders who are insisting on this are not elders who are easily manipulated by money. Those Orokitan elders, they don't pursue them all. Okay, now just like very few of them there. Okay, so if Orokitan elders were there, we would have thought that they were manipulating it, but they are not there. These are elders that are so well respected in the palace. They are elders that will not be manipulated by money. They are elders that, of course, have always been on the side of the jewel, have returned back to the palace and all of that. So right now, it's not even an issue where people begin to think that it's manipulation, they don't want her back and all of that. It's the tradition. The tradition tick. The tradition tick. They said the 19 elders who stood with the great lion became like a shield around the jewel. They argued that supporting her did not break tradition. Instead, it strengthened it because tradition also teaches forgiveness, unity, and restoration. They said the forest ritual was not meant to destroy her, but to cleanse the past. And if the great lion wanted to make the process honorable and peaceful, there was nothing wrong with that. But the opposing elders refused to bend. They believed that allowing the jewel to walk freely without, completing the ritual would open the door for disrespect from younger generation. They believed the gods themselves would be offended. That was why they shouted so fiercely when the 19 elders, offered their support to the jewel. The whole palace became like a battlefield of emotion. Love was fighting tradition. Peace was fighting, pride, restoration, fighting old anger. And in the center of everything stood the great lion, holding the jewel's dignity with one hand and the weight of, the kingdom and the tradition with the other. Nobody, of course, knew how the matter would, in fact, at the end of the day, nobody can really tell how this matter is going to end. It's either, they go with the jewel, or, of course, whether the Adetutu's marriage will solve the matter. If they will bring Yanifa again before 28, we don't know. But one thing we know is that Odikwa easy. I'm going to bring you more updates. Do not forget that these are all alleged, rumored, and verified information making the rounds on social media and should not be seen as fact.